I am so excited for the podcast this week because this is my birthday this week. I am so excited to have this guest on. It's Tamar Hurwitz-Fleming, and she has written a book, How to Have a Happy Birthday. So this is so perfect. Welcome, Tamar.
Thank you, Shelley. I'm delighted that we are doing this right before your birthday. What great timing.
Yeah, this is perfect. So can you give us a little bit about background of this? So why did you want to write this book?
I wanted to write this book because many, many years ago, I noticed that our feelings that emerge around our birthdays can be complex. Some of us get excited, some of us feel anxious, some of us have wonderful birthdays, some of us have difficult birthdays. And I myself had an epiphany when I was 18 to age 20. I had two birthdays that were in a 2-year period. And the first one was when I turned 18. It was my first year away from home. I was at college. I was the baby of the family. And I woke up on my birthday, which is in January. I woke up really excited for the phone to ring for my family to wish me a happy birthday. And the phone calls never came. And I rushed back to my room waiting for the phone to ring. And this is before cell phones. I did have an answering machine, but no cell phones. And I wanted to take the calls in person, and I'd rush back after lunch and rush back. And I was like waiting for the phone to ring, and the calls didn't come. And that's how I spent my birthday, was waiting for calls that never came. I was devastated by the time I went to night. And thank God my best friend was living overseas. She scraped up some coins to call me, and she called me at like 10 minutes to midnight and saved the day for me. But that experience was terrible. I was waiting for others to celebrate me, and that celebration didn't happen. And it unfortunately confirmed some ideas I had about myself, that maybe I wasn't so lovable, maybe I wasn't so important, maybe I wasn't worth celebrating. And it really didn't, it was really hard for my heart. And a couple of years later, I was living abroad. I was in France for my junior year abroad, and I was alone. And so when I woke up, there was no one around to do anything for me. It was all up to me. And I realized I'm going to have a great day. I took the day off classes. I walked through town. I bought myself a birthday gift for the first time in my life. And that night I had some of my student friends over for a little celebration. And it was the best birthday I had had. And that's when I realized, comparing those two birthdays, that the most important way for you to celebrate your birthday is for you to take charge of it and be the center of it and make it be what you want it to be. Don't sit passively waiting for others to show up for you, because you could be really disappointed and let down and not have such a happy birthday.
Yeah, well, that's good. You learned from that experience, and so your other one was good. Growing up, as you were younger, did your family celebrate birthdays?
Our family did celebrate birthdays. My mom we'd have birthday parties like on the weekend, and my mom would always make a handmade cake, and she would decorate it. She was an artist, so she could decorate it beautifully, and that was always lovely. And I actually, here's a picture of me when I was turning 6 years old, holding one of the cakes that my mom decorated with my name on it. Yeah, I was happy, but it's interesting, when we had my birthday party on the weekend, and my birthday would fall midweek, I always had this sense like, wait, today's my birthday, not the weekend. The weekend birthday party was fun, but today's my day. And I always understood that the day of your birthday is the day of magic, is the day where we are most spiritually aligned with our spirit, right? It's the day that we began our life. What's more powerful and spiritual than that? So I always sensed that there needed to be more alignment with the actual birthday, to do something on the actual day. As a kid, I couldn't make sense of it, but I understood it. And as I got older, I always celebrate my birthday on the day, no matter what day of the week it is. That's the day I celebrate.
Cool. Yeah, I remember just birthdays we celebrated them, but yeah, as you get older, I mean, just you celebrating them, having that habit of your family celebrating it, and then on your 18th, a big birthday, nothing happening, that would be very depleting, right? So, and then so to take the steps to create the bigger one.
Yes. And there's something that does happen, when we're kids and our family celebrates for us, they do all the work to celebrate us. There's a certain point we get older, and maybe it's our teenage years, maybe it's when we move out of the house, where they're not there to do it. And so a lot of us feel like, okay, that was the realm of childhood. That was then. Now it's just another day, because we're not used to this idea that no, let them pass the baton to us. And now it's up to us to generate the energy and the celebration on our own behalf. And there's a transition. I once spoke to somebody, I actually write about his story in my book, that, he was in his late 20s, and he was feeling like his birthday, he didn't have a lot of energy around it. And it ended up that he had felt that his mother had done such an amazing job celebrating his birthdays as a child. I mean, really went all out to every
Mhm.
last detail, that he just felt like that was then, and this is now. And so when he was encouraged to actually celebrate his day and raise his own birthday energy, it changed things for him to have that kind of permission and imagination of possibility.
Yeah, so we thought that I'm not a child anymore. I guess I don't
Yeah.
celebrate my birthday. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Another woman I spoke to, she told her boss, "Hey, it's my birthday today." She was in her 30s. And he
Uh-huh.
said, "Oh, birthdays are for children." And at that point, she just stopped. That kind of messaging, right, that we get from the world around us can suppress our birthday joy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
My mom she celebrated our birthdays and stuff, but for her, it was a different story. And maybe because of that, I don't know, she did not like her birthday to be celebrated. And we would throw her surprise birthday parties anyway. And she seemed to enjoy it sometimes. There was one time we were traveling, and I remember we were camping, traveling through the east side of the United States. And my brothers and I decorated our car, and she was so mad. I think it was her 40th birthday. And I don't know if that was, hit a chord with her apparently, but we're just like, what did we do wrong? We were just trying to celebrate you, So,
Yeah, that can be a hard moment for everybody. Some people really don't like surprises. And I've learned that when people say they don't like their birthdays and they don't want it acknowledged or celebrated, to honor them,
mm,
because that's what they want for their birthday. And that's one of the reasons I wrote this book, to really help those people that have a hard time embracing their birthday, start to take small steps to allow for the possibility that they are worth celebrating, that their birthday is special, and that they can celebrate it the way they want. They don't need to have a party, they don't need to have a lot of attention, but to make the day special and really sacred on
yeah,
behalf of themselves and the life they're living. That's what my book encourages.
that's awesome. And I I've read some of your book already, and it's so good. And there was a point that you talk about receiving, right? So like you're saying now, so the receiving, can you go into that a little bit more of the importance of
Yeah.
being able to receive?
Yeah, a lot of us are very comfortable giving our energy and our attention and our love to others. We're very comfortable giving, but it can be quite challenging to receive that energy when it comes our way, right? We have all sorts of voices and messages that make us feel like we're not worthy, it's not safe, we're not comfortable being vulnerable to receive the love and the good energy, because there is a form of vulnerability that
Mhm.
needs to be present, a form of openness that needs to be present when we receive all that good energy on our birthday and open ourselves up to it. And so I believe that the birthday is the one day a year where we all have permission to put ourselves in the center of our day and receive the good energy that's coming our way and practice receiving it, right? It's just one
Mm.
day a year. Tomorrow, you don't have to receive it. Tomorrow, you can put those boundaries back up. But for your birthday, open up, blossom like a flower, right? And let that good energy come in and practice receiving, because it's there for you. Almost everybody wants to give you good energy and love on your birthdays. It's like, because we all have a birthday. That's the thing that I love about birthdays. They're an equal opportunity provider. We all get one 24-hour period. I don't get to have 27 hours and you get to have 22 hours. We all
Mhm.
get 24 hours, and it's ours to do with what we want. And it's our time to shine and feel special and feel loved and to receive it. So birthdays are good opportunities for practicing that, and strengthening that muscle of receiving the good energy.
Yeah, that's good. I do think that people need to learn how to receive. It is hard sometimes. And what a perfect way, like you're saying, on your birthday to practice that receiving and to maybe incorporate more days. I think it's important to receive so that you can have, because we should be able to receive gratitude or just, people complimenting us. I've taught my girls, when someone compliments them, don't bounce it back off them, just thank you. Thank you for that compliment, or, and to enjoy and appreciate what they're saying. So I love that. So
That's
what
right. And I just want to say that that is a really good thing to practice, that when someone gives you a compliment, oh, no, no, it was nothing. Oh, no, no. To actually say thank you, just say thank you. Just
yeah,
say thank you. Just practice that. And that helps soften the resistance that we have to receiving positive energy when it comes our way. It's a curiosity that we don't, we all want good energy, but it's not always easy to receive it. And we don't realize it sometimes. It's subconscious. So when we can
yeah,
make it conscious, what you said is absolutely right, that if we can practice opening up to the positive energy on our birthdays, we can practice opening it up to it on other days of the year. But the birthday is a starting point for those
Yes.
that really just aren't comfortable with it.
Yeah. So what are some suggestions of how, if someone's uncomfortable, that they celebrate their birthday? And
So, there's a whole spectrum of ways that we can celebrate our birthday. And on that spectrum, I see people that are birthday positive, that love their birthdays and take it on. And there's people that are birthday avoidant, that just don't want anything to do with their birthdays. And between those two ends of the spectrum, there's everything in between. And so for those people that don't like their birthdays and want to avoid them and just, think they're just another day, I encourage you to read my book and understand that your birthday is the most powerful day of your year. It's the most magical day. It's the day that your life began. And I was listening to one of your earlier podcasts by Lizzie Merritt, who talked about you are a miracle. And you are a miracle. We're all miracles. And the day our life
yeah.
began is the moment that miracle happened. That's worth celebrating. So I encourage people to allow for the possibility that they are miracles and that their birthday is worth celebrating, and to start simply. The first thing I recommend is that you think about your birthday like it's a major holiday. And this is true for anybody. Think of your birthday like it's a major holiday, and much in the same way that you wouldn't wake up on Thanksgiving and say, okay, where's the turkey and who's coming over to dinner? You start planning, right? You plan for your Thanksgiving. And so you plan for your birthday, start thinking about it weeks in advance, just sketching out ideas of what you would maybe like to do. And then as the day gets closer, it can focus in like, no, I want to do this or that. And then part of that is take the day off if you can. Take the day off, because that gives you all the time that you need to really indulge in whatever day that you want to have for yourself. And if you can't take the whole day off, carve out some hours that are just yours to celebrate as you wish. The other thing is to decide what it is you want to do. And you might just want to take yourself out into nature for a hike. If you're someone who doesn't want to involve other people, there are many things that you can do on your own to make your day feel special. I really like the idea of doing things that are new and different to kind of brighten up your experience of the day. So if you like to go hiking, maybe try a different hiking trail for the first time, or take yourself out on a drive, or do something that gets you in touch with your own spirit so that you can feel the goodness that's actually there for you on that day. For those of you that love celebrating your birthdays and everyone in between, that's great. So one of the things that I recommend you do, and this is for anybody, is to decorate your house. It's amazing what happens when we take something as simple as a birthday banner and we put it up to celebrate us. And also, I really love it when we create something, what I like to call a birthday altar. And a birthday altar is a space in your home that you decorate with, again, pictures. This is something I put up on my birthday altar. It's a picture of me from childhood celebrating my birthday. And I love this because it reminds me of the inner child and how happy I was to celebrate my birthday and how excited I was that it was my day. And I believe that that inner child is in all of us, and that when we nourish it and let it come out and play on our birthdays, that it really feeds our spirit beautifully. So decorating, putting pictures from the past, putting pictures that you love, putting items that you want to represent your new year. A friend of mine was creating her birthday altar recently, and she said, you know what, I didn't really want to focus on the past. I wanted to think about what I wanted for the coming year, because really our birthdays are our personal new year. This is the
Yeah.
beginning of our personal new year. So what do we want to manifest for the coming year? Let's think about that, and let's put those symbols and images on our birthday altar to kind of represent that. Decorating the house is a powerful act. I had a friend, it was her birthday a couple months ago. She read my book and she called me up. She said, you know what, I admit, I read your book. I loved it. I've had a hard time with my birthdays ever since I can remember. And she's in her 50s. And she said, can you help me? Will you coach me through this? I said, sure, let's get on the phone again in a couple days before your birthday, but do one thing first. Go buy yourself a birthday altar and put it up. I mean, go buy yourself a birthday banner that says happy birthday and put it up, and create a little birthday altar in your honor. Do those two things and then we'll get on the phone. So she did those two things. And when we got on the phone, she said, we don't need to do this call anymore. I said, why? She said, because once I put up that birthday banner and created that birthday altar for myself, everything changed. I suddenly felt the energy reflecting back at me in a celebratory manner. Just even seeing something say happy birthday to me made me feel like I was present and willing to sign up for my birthday. I said, that's beautiful. I'm so happy. We talked a little bit more about it. I didn't let her get off the phone that fast. And it really enforced my own experience and understanding, and what I've observed in other places, that when we take a moment to really celebrate ourselves with external imagery and decorations and those kinds of things that we can feel it. The other thing that I recommend for people to do on their birthday is what I did when I was 20 for the first time, and buy yourself a birthday gift. That's a really good way to practice giving to yourself. It doesn't have to be expensive. It doesn't have to be lavish, but give yourself the permission to buy yourself something that you want for you. And this does a few things. It helps you celebrate yourself, right?
Mhm.
Take charge of that. It helps you ask yourself, what is it that I want? Again, we're so used to giving to other people and sacrificing for other people. What does it mean when we want to give something to ourselves, and to give ourselves permission without guilt, or feeling like we can't? We can. Our birthday is the one day we can give a gift to ourselves, and at least. So buy yourself a birthday gift. It can be part of your birthday day activity, or it can be something you do in advance, and you can unwrap it on your birthday, wrap it up and then unwrap it on your birthday, and let it be something that you look at for the year to follow that reminds you of what it felt like to give to yourself, to give
These
to
are
yourself.
Yeah, I love all these suggestions. They're so good. And there's several that remind me of some things that we do, of taking the day out for yourself. And we homeschool, so it's a little easier for my kids. They don't have to do anything that day. If it's chore day, they don't have to do their chores. They don't have to do school that day. They can do whatever they want. So that's kind of fun. And then I love the idea of just even a simple banner that can change your outlook, if just celebrating yourself. It doesn't have to be something grand. And to do different things for yourself, even if it's just, I love hiking, so that was a perfect example you shared. But to do a different hike or whatever, it doesn't have to be with other people, but celebrate yourself and to take charge. And thinking about the conversation, I was at 40, I guess maybe when I was growing up, 40 was like, seemed like half lifetime, kind of, over the hill, as they'd say. And it seems like it's changed since then. But I remember when I turned 40, I threw myself a dance party. I invited a whole bunch of people. We rented out a place, and I love to dance. And so it just was fun. And I love that. And then that's a big, great memory of mine. And just how, and I think for my kids as well, they saw that, and just at any age, you can celebrate however you want and just enjoy your day, right? And go ahead.
No, that's absolutely right. I love it that you were having a milestone birthday, recognizing that 40 is a big one, and it is, and that you created a celebration doing something that you love. And dancing is a wonderful way to raise the spirit and have fun. And that's something I like to do on my birthday, just by myself or with my husband. Let's turn on the music and start moving around in the
Mhm.
morning, even just to get the energy flowing and the emotions lifted. So, we do get to choose what we want to do on our birthday. And I love it that you were role modeling for your kids how to own your celebration and make it happen. That was beautiful, because so much of what we learn about our birthdays, we learn in childhood, for better and for worse.
Uh, so what experiences have you had since that turning point at 20 years old for you, and enjoying your birthday? I mean, it sounds like your book is amazing. I hope many people will be able to read it and take time to read it, because it really helps, like you said, celebrating yourself. I think people our society is me oriented, but I don't think it's in the same realm as what we're talking about here. It's to really deeply spiritually enjoy yourself. Like, I'm at a loss for words of what I'm trying to say, but just to appreciate, I guess is the word, appreciate who you are. And what better way than your birthday, right?
Yeah, and it's really a day to honor yourself. And
Yeah.
that's a tender action. For us to just stop, we're me oriented, but it's not always in a way that feels good. It's a way that can sometimes be motivated from insecurity, competition, pressure from society, right?
Mhm.
So what does it mean to actually drop it all and not be performative, but
Right.
actually just tune into who we are as, spirits living a human existence? And what does it mean that we are miracles? And what does it mean that this is the day that I was born, and so it's worth celebrating who I am? Can we go inside a little bit? Can we dig a little deeper? Can we tune into our heart and just feel like gratitude for who we are? It's a beautiful thing to be grateful for who you are. Like, wow,
Yes.
I'm grateful I get to be me. I'm grateful for this life, challenges and everything, right? This is the life I have. And so much of our life happens in ways we can't control, but a lot happens that we can control and make choices of. And I'm really very clear that so many so many things in our life we have choices around, right? Like sometimes things happen, but all we can control is are choosing a different attitude about it. And so our birthday is an opportunity for us to employ the power of choice, right? And to choose what we want to do and how we want to, nourish ourselves and celebrate ourselves and tune into ourselves. And it's a tender thing, and it can be emotional. A woman I know read my book. She's my age. She's 58. And she never liked her birthdays. And after she read my book, she was shaking because it
Wow.
unleashed a lot of emotion within her. And she said, this isn't just about my birthday. This is about my life.
Mhm.
This is about me understanding areas where I want to shift and take charge and be more thoughtful about my life. So it's a powerful day when we allow ourselves to dive into it that way. It's also a fun celebratory day. It's whatever we want it to be, but all those choices are ours to make when our birthday comes around. And to answer your question earlier, what happened after I turned 20? Well, then it was like, oh my gosh, I've been awakened to the birthday magic and it's all about me. So when I turned 21, I thought about what I wanted to do. And, when I turned 20, I just woke up and made it up as I went. But by 21, I was like, okay, now I get it. Now let me figure it out. And for the birthdays that followed, I tried doing different things. And some birthdays were great. Some had challenges because I didn't realize that when you ABCD, that certain other things will happen. And so I wrote about that. One of the things is I once had a birthday and I celebrated midweek, but I had a really big presentation at work the next day that I scheduled. I can choose when I schedule my presentations. I said, oh, it's the day after my birthday. But you know what happened? It's on my birthday, I was really kind of preoccupied with the big presentation I had to do the next day. So in
Mm.
my book, I write about try not to plan anything significant the day after your birthday or even the day before, so you have some breathing room to step into your birthday, to experience it, and then to let it settle down the day after. So those are the kind of experiences that I learned from and that I was able to put into my book. It took me many years to write the book because as my birthday came, I felt all the energy build, the wave of energy build. And it's like, oh yeah, this and this and this. And I'd write and write and write. And then my birthday would happen and I had all these insights and I'd write them down. So and also I talked to many people over those years. So there was just a level of experiencing my birthdays that really informed this book over many years. And my book, by the way, I don't know if I mentioned it, is called How to Have a Happy Birthday. Create meaning, fulfillment, and joy on your special day.
I love it. Yes, birthdays are awesome. I think I'm a positive birthday person, as you say, right? So this is so good. So what do you have the biggest birthday celebration that for you in your life that you could share with us? Something that's stood out to you? The positive one, I guess maybe the
Yeah, sure,
year
sure.
or
Sure. Well, it's interesting. I also write about this in my book too. I knew years, like a decade before I turned 50, I knew that my 50th birthday was going to fall on a Saturday night, which is really lucky, right? That alignment is, how lucky am I? And so I was like, when I turn 50, I'm going to have a really big party. I'm going to rent a hall, hire a DJ and a disco ball and get all my friends there and just have this big party. I wasn't married at the time and I didn't know if I would be. And so that I kind of craved a big party like you have when you get married. And I was going to do that for my 50th.
Mhm.
And so year after year, it's like, here it comes. I was really thinking about it, talk about planning in advance. And
Uh-huh.
let my friends know years in advance. And okay, well, it ends up that, 3 months before I turned 50 or 4 months, whatever the time is, I got engaged. And so suddenly this big party when I turned 50 wasn't going to happen because we were going to get married 9 months later. So let's let that be the big party. So I ended
Mm.
up having a party at home, a lovely party at home with my family and friends. It's a much smaller one. But what happened is that I ended up getting sick right before my birthday. I was traveling, I came home, I had jet lag, I was burning the candle at both ends. And there was also a lot of stress that I'd put on myself over the years to have the best 50th birthday party ever.
Mm.
And so I got sick. And by the time my party came, I was feeling well enough to participate. And this is the pre-COVID days. I mean, I don't know what it's like now about how you're feeling when you show up at your birthday party, but um, I guess I just realized that there was so much pressure I put on myself that it didn't surprise me that I actually ended up getting sick. And that's one of the ways actually that we can actually sabotage our birthday experience, that we put so much pressure on it that we can't handle it and that we might maybe get sick. Now, illness happens and we know that. And I certainly do not blame myself for getting sick right before my birthday when I turned 50, but I also know that I did have so much pressure and there was almost like this feeling around it, that it didn't surprise me. And so it taught me that, yes, have your plans, but remain flexible.
Yeah.
Don't be so fixated on how it needs to be, that we can't just go with the flow and allow some fluidity and flexibility, which helps us be more resilient when things come up. So that ended up being a wonderful birthday party, but it was very different than what I expected. And then the other birthday party that I loved so much was 15 years ago. I was turning 43. My husband and I had met a few months earlier, and it was at that birthday party, he was there, that we both decided we liked each other.
Oh,
So
yeah.
that when I turned, yeah, and one of the things he said is we were all going out for drinks afterwards, and he's like, we're like, and I said, so where should we go? And he said, well, you're the birthday queen, you decide. And he was really serious about that, and unprompted. I'd never told him that way of thinking, but when he said, I thought, oh, this is a good sign. And he's been such a great birthday buddy, great birthday party, really supports me, and really helps me sometimes figure out what I want to do. I might say, oh, I'm thinking of doing this. And he'll say, oh, well, you could, but and so we sometimes craft what I want to do for my birthday together, which is fun.
That's fun. That's good. So do you have anything that that you'd like to share before we close? Just words of advice besides reading your book. I mean, I think there's a lot more wisdom in your book besides just the birthday celebration. Like you were saying, that the person after reading it really, was crying and really some emotions came up. I think it helps unblock some maybe negative emotions from our childhood and things. So I do encourage people to get your book, and How to Have a Happy Birthday was perfect, because I think we all deserve having a happy birthday, as you said. And would you like to share any last advice or comments before we close?
Yeah, so I believe that our birthdays are the most important day of our year, and that when we plan for our birthdays with intention and really put ourselves in the center of our day, that we can have a happier birthday, no matter where we are on that spectrum, right? So for those of you that struggle to embrace your birthdays, I invite you to read my book and to consider the possibility that you are worth celebrating and you are worth putting yourself in the center of your day. And for those of you that already love celebrating your birthday, hooray for you. I'm celebrating with you. And in my book, I talk about ways to enhance your day, to deepen it, to bring more meaning. Because some people are happy, but they don't necessarily feel the deep meaning that can be there on your birthday, which is spiritually enriching. So I do believe that anybody who reads my book, if they take it to heart, that everybody can have a happier birthday. And I thank you for welcoming me today and letting me talk about this.
You're welcome, Tamar. I really appreciate you being on here, and for my birthday week. I mean, this was no coincidence. I think this is so awesome. I'm so excited to share this. And thank you so much. And you have a happy birthday at your next birthday and forever birthdays. And thank you for being with me on the Live Greater podcast.
Thank you so much. And if you want to find my book, you can find it online, Amazon, Barnes & Noble, bookshop.org. And you can also visit my website, howtohaveahappybirthday.com. And you can follow me on social media. I'm author.tamar. That's Tamar. So thanks so much, Shelley. Happy birthday. And I really hope your birthday wish comes true.
Thank you. And I will leave all those links in the show notes as well. So thank you for sharing all that.